Internet, and welcome back to Tales of Terragia. I am your Dungeon Master and Cosmic Tour Guide, Nick Celentano, and I have 6 raccoons that I found in a dumpster that I convinced to play D&D with me. Say hi, little raccoons.
Garbage, please.
Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys a real big favor and go ahead and find all the Tales of Terragia across all the platforms because we are everywhere. We're on the TikTok, we're on the app formerly known as Twitter, we're on the Threads, we're on everything. Go ahead and find us anywhere and everywhere. We're guaranteed to be the only Tales of Terragia out there. Like and follow and subscribe, and you'll get free inspiration next time. Just talk to your DM.
Works for me.
Yes.
Last time, the Second Law spent their remaining time at Prismari, expanding their minds, broadening their horizons, making the founders of this school proud. Be it investigating maps, sparring with friends, or preparing for your final dissertation to present to the Galazeth Council, earning your final grade and graduating. But before all that, the Second Law, in typical Second Law fashion, took a look around, saw nothing but peace, safety, and fun, and thought to yourselves, you know what this is missing? Sketchy underground weirdness and criminal activity.
We gotta go save someone.
Following Harmony's friend Riz, you ventured out beyond Prismari's campus into the city of Yokai, the Sylvan Dynasty's capital and home to all manner of citizens, including, as it turns out, the Glitz and Glower, the Fey Mafia. Riz took you to the Lemon Drop, the tavern and headquarters to that very group, where you wanted to find some information. And while you may not have gotten exactly what you wanted there, you certainly didn't walk away empty-handed. Basil, you clutch a torn page from the ledger of the Glitz and Glower. Specifically, turn to the page listing those who have purchased Harangon feet, as that is what you inquired for, and that's the page that she turned to.
Harangon.
Meanwhile, Harmony stood watch and certainly saw something she wasn't expecting. Her favorite professor, Professor Veyron, slipping into the seedy tavern to have a clandestine meeting with a very burly and very charismatic vampire. Second Law, the large birdcage elevator finally reaches that ground floor, and that satyr stops the little lever, and the little door swings open. Riz is quick to step out.
I think how many? Something's going on with Harmony. She wasn't. I saw through Sling. She wasn't where we left her. She was in another room. We should find her right away.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, we'll rush over.
What had after like Professor Veyron had I like healing word her, and she realizes like I saw or whatever, seemed kind of ashamed, but does she just kind of like what does she do after, like in the meantime, like before they kind of come upstairs or whatever?
What you do is up to you, but she remains sort of like ashamedly kind of like seated in sort of a not full like, you know, crossed legs. Her legs are kind of like split out to the side, but she remains on the floor there,
Okay.
head bowed.
Then if she's like sitting, and after just like a half a second or something, like she kind of realizes it's me and doesn't get mad or anything. But like I'll just go out and then kind of just
And you kind of like knock, and the door opens. She looks up at you through like the kind of vines of her hair that are kind of falling over into her face, and she kind of brushes them back and kind of wipes away a few glistening morning dew tears that have kind of come down her face.
Love her. Professor, I'll kind of come in and like shut it behind me. Are you okay? What?
I'm fine.
What happened? Well, I kind of saw most of what happened, but
I may ask if you tell anybody at school
I'm not going to tell anybody. I just want to help you if I can.
No. You're better off knowing as little as possible. Go back to school. You have a big presentation tomorrow.
Well, but as soon as tomorrow's done, and I've graduated, then I'm not even a student anymore, and I'm in an adventuring group now, and we're pretty good. We can help you.
I don't believe you can. And that's fine. I'm fine. I can handle myself. Please, just stay away from this situation. Please, Harmony.
I can't just leave you in danger, or at least in such distress. There must be some small thing I could at least do to help. What's going on?
She kind of turns away. She hardly ever meets your gaze. Kind of keeps her head bowed, her eyes averted, before she sort of just kind of. You see that she tries and circles through all the attempts at an explanation to what she was doing, but she sort of just kind of crumples a little bit in on herself and just looks up at you. He was very charming. And I thought I could help. I didn't know how far he wanted to go, but he wants... Or maybe he doesn't want someone, wants something. And they think that I can get it to them. It's not true. I can't get them what they want. I can just get them to where it is.
Is it really bad if they get to where it is?
I can't say. I don't know. I think so. I don't...
What are they going to do if you don't help them?
I can't say either, because I do not know. But it is not of your concern. I will play my part, and my hands will be clean of this, and...
Well...
And it'll be over. It'll all be over, just as he said it would be.
Well, what do they want? Do they want... If it's like some sort of item or something, maybe I could make just like a copy of it, and they would at least be gone long enough that we could keep them from being able to come back, or we could get them to leave the Sylvan dynasty.
He wants a piece of immortality.
And it's a physical object?
It is.
Oh.
There is someone in the Fae who collects things as hard to acquire as a fragment of immortality. A person I'm aware of, and he wants it for himself. Or for whoever he is working with.
Where would you even find something like that? How does that even exist?
I do not know that. I just know what it was. I know who he is seeking. I was hoping to dissuade him, or perhaps I would not have the information he wanted.
Where's he trying to go?
To the Feywild. Where it is.
Is it protected by someone powerful? Or powerful magic?
Yes. Quite. He is quite powerful as well.
Maybe, what if you just sent him to the Feywild and closed the door behind him and let them fight it out?
not sure who would be the victor in that fight, but I can promise you, whoever wins, it will be bad news for everyone else.
Is the person who's guarding this piece of immortality now, are they using it, or are they just guarding it for the good of everybody?
To my understanding, it is just part of the collection.
Is this... well... you only have until tomorrow? How do you know how to open portals to the Feywild?
Easy sledge.
It's the goblins downstairs. Ah, damn goblins.
I cannot open a portal. I just know where one is.
Like the ones that we watch for in the woods near school?
Yes,
I thought those were random.
they are, and they come and go and are unpredictable. There's no way of knowing where they will appear, where they will go, except the Glitz and Glower have been able to acquire one, or at least be able to keep it open. That is part of their business. One of the many things that the Fey Crime Syndicate is one of their many offerings that they offer to people to purchase is smuggling in and out of the Fey.
And do you know where their portal is? Is it here?
It is here.
Well, what if you just let him go through, maybe, and then you'll be okay.
Perhaps. Should not have come to such a place, and you need to distance yourself from this, Harmony. You have an entire future ahead of you, a very bright future ahead of you. You should not be skulking about places like this, and should not be investigating these things.
Well, I stayed upstairs. Everyone else went downstairs.
Everyone else?
Well,
When it dropped, the door swings open as all 5 heads of the rest of, and Riz kind of all lean in and look in as they kind of followed Anara's kind of like reverse tracking of Sling.
Harmony.
Are you
Just
okay?
get
What's
inside,
happening?
You alright?
get in and close the door.
Why would you not
Close
at
the
the
door.
table where you... What is going
Professor.
This is...
You abandoned
And
your
Rizby
post.
is like, we did not know what this place was.
Professor.
on? I
Professor.
think she...
Professor?
What?
This is
She's here too.
Professor Veyron.
I'm just trying to cover my bases.
You're Professor Veyron.
You're
Yeah, my
you're
mentor.
like advisor.
Yeah.
I found nothing downstairs.
Why is
what's
she
going
here?
on here?
Hi.
She likes the drinks here. Right?
Yeah.
Still going.
No.
Well,
Must really like lemon drops, right? Have you ever tried carrot drops?
What is it? Deception, I guess? Obviously. 23.
Oh wait. Yeah. No way.
all right.
I just
They
believe
are.
her. I believe
They
her.
do look pretty good.
Well, and I suppose professors have personal lives as well. It seems.
Really, we shouldn't be
Why
here.
did we
And,
roll
How many students? You're right. Students, and she kind of immediately points to Riz and their companions should not be sullying themselves in a place like this.
Hey, we're
I
not
didn't
the
sully
only one.
myself.
What did you
What
guys
did you
do
say?
downstairs?
We were not able to
Are you
find
sullying
any
yourselves?
information on that.
No, but we watched some people sullying themselves.
Is that what the banging was?
It was.
There was some banging.
We should head
It
back
was
to
an
the
Talk about that
educational
sledgehog. He didn't want to see
trip,
that.
but not very fruitful.
Slink, come back. Let's go back to the school.
Okay.
You ready for your presentation tomorrow?
Yeah, I certainly took my mind off of it. Should be great.
It would be.
Okay.
It would be. And as you have that presentation now, I encourage, as your professor, a long, restful night's sleep.
We were just about to leave, I promise. I just wanted to see a bar, you know? Okay, let's just go. Let's go back to school.
Alright.
Alright.
As long as everyone's okay.
Don't touch me.
And then as we're kind of all leaving, and I'll be the last one out, and I'll just kind of like glance back, like kind of sad or a little like torn kind of look, and like go.
Just sort of like watches you go, but she stays in that room and closes the door behind her. And Riz kind of like leads the walk back outside and just like, okay, well, fun, excitement, and adventure.
Yeah, that was weird.
Sling
yeah.
saw a lot of that. What was going on in that conversation, though, right? Because
Yeah.
she was in the room during the entire conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what happened downstairs? Did you find any information?
A little bit. I got a sheet of names for people who might have bought some
Don't
pairing
wait
gun
for us
feet.
around here. Let's get out.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Let's wait to talk before until we get back on campus.
They did not know anything about the organization I seek, and
No, they didn't know anything at all about anything.
easy to talk to at all. But
They didn't want any of our bits, but we got some of
Basil
their
found
stuff.
some information, but we should leave right now because she'll probably miss that page
Yeah.
before long. Let's get back to the school.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, let's go. Kind of Riz like reverse kind of like takes you through that back path, cross the river again in a little floating kind of go out all the way across, and it's not too long before you get back to Prismari. By now it is later in the evening.
On the way back, I will telepathically communicate with the sling and just get sort of a sense of
Download the
just a sense of like. I don't think there would be like lots of detail because Sling's perception is not great, but the extent that Harmony saw the professor meeting another person would probably have come across. Maybe, I don't know, whatever you think.
I mean,
so know a little bit about.
Snake certainly recognized two figures and
Yeah, okay.
speaking and stuff. So.
But I'm not gonna challenge Harmony's story.
Sure.
Yeah. But once we get
No,
like
I'll talk to you later.
yeah, once we get like back onto like school grounds,
Yeah.
I don't know. In my head, I'm like school is
No.
safe or whatever.
I'm figuring that we'll, as a group, we'll
Comfort
talk
zone.
about
Yeah.
cool.
Maybe
Safe.
maybe we can all hang out in my room for a little bit before the end of the night.
Ah.
You have some information for
yes.
us?
I'm picking up what you're
Of what
putting
happened?
down.
Yes,
A slumber
No,
party?
like we're like on a boat in the
Yeah.
middle of wherever, but I'm like,
Yeah.
but make sure that you do
Slumber
get
party.
rest for ahead of the presentation. There's
I have-
plenty of time to
I have
talk.
plenty of time. Yeah.
Unless
It'll
it
be
is
okay.
time urgent.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay, well maybe then perhaps for a little while tonight.
Yeah, we'll just.
Okay.
I'll fill you guys in once we're back inside. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Everything okay?
You get back onto campus, and it's especially this late in the evening. It's quieter, but there's still always like some mingling, some people like kind of on the grounds, but it's certainly like far more sparse. And you kind of get back up to the dormitories to Harmony's dorm.
Is Riz still staying with us, or is
He stays with you up until that point before he kind of breaks off and is like, well, tonight was fun. It was great. I prefer the parties in the East Tower better, but
Thank you for guiding us there. We
Yeah.
appreciate it very much.
Thanks for taking us to the lemon drop.
Even though it
Well,
wasn't
you
exactly
gotta-
what we
gotta have someone to
wanted.
protect you.
Before we
Yes.
leave, maybe we can spar again. I'll show you a move or two.
I'll have to look into how many, bone splints and stuff that I can handle, but sure, we can go
I'm
get
sure you had to avoid some of those.
Yeah, but
And maybe I'll join you sometimes too, and I pull out my giant sword and be like, I'm ready, whatever. Anara's been teaching me too, and I just like start kicking around too wildly. Slice, chop.
Oh, him I'll fight. Him I'll fight.
That I would see, yes.
I'd like to see that.
It'd be good to see how much he has learned.
You and me, buddy. Foo-foo.
Keep it calm.
And maybe tomorrow night we can go to an actual party, because I think that sounds at this point more fun than at least the lemon drop and trying to find these whatever underground
And Harmony, if
whatever
your
type of stuff.
presentation goes as well as we all know it will, we will have something to
A
celebrate.
celebration, yes.
That's true.
A party would be
That's true. That's true.
You're gonna get that B plus. And you gotta turn down the scale.
Temp gas.
The guy's gonna check him
I
out
just
as
like
he walks by.
thaumaturgy and like a bunch of like fart noises chasing him down the hallway. Just like
interesting. What happened in the 11th?
Things seemed
round?
very tense.
Okay.
We learned next to
It
nothing. But
was so crazy. There was a vampire. A vampire came in to
that
the
was
lemon
the
drop.
man who you bumped into. Slink saw
He
a
was a
few things,
vampire.
but not much.
He was huge. He was as tall as you, Tim,
Oh,
but
wow.
like 3 times as wide.
Oh,
Huge
jeez.
guy.
Oh my gosh.
And he was a vampire, and he like seemed very charming, obviously, because I think it's like a vampire thing. They're very charming and like they look really
How did
good
you
and very
know-
attractive.
How did you know he was a vampire?
Yeah.
Well, I could sense
No, but I get that a
Sense-
lot.
Oh, you
that he was a
your
vampire.
magic
And,
is able to sense.
and then when
No,
I
no,
went into the room that was next to them, and I peeked through the door, and then I saw him trying, kind of casting like vampire magic.
Why is this professor meeting with a
Influence.
vampire?
Well, he is like blackmailing her basically, but Professor Varen
Blackmailing
told me that there's a portal to the Feywild in the lemon drop, and
In the lemon drop.
the Glitz and Glower they run that portal. They can keep it open, and they use it for their smuggling and getting things in and out of the Feywild, but it's there somewhere. So maybe after I graduate, we could maybe go back as a group with a little more of a plan. And, well, so then I guess this portal, I don't know if it comes out in the Feywild near this guy, but there's like some collector guy that collects like really rare, powerful items and things, and I guess doesn't use them. He just goes through a lot of effort to have them, and then they just sit there, and I guess he just likes looking at them. But there's some powerful item or something that the vampire wants. Oh, she said it was a piece of immortality. I don't know how you have a piece, but she said it was a physical object. But I don't know how you have a physical object of immortality. But the vampire wants it, and he's blackmailing her to get him through the portal to it.
There are rituals known to my order that control pieces of the essence of life.
And they're
I'm not privy to the details. I copied a lot of things within runes I did not understand, but that is the closest I understand to those things.
but there is something that's a physical thing that is
It's
a life force also.
in the order, so far as I understand, it is an essence, an ether. It's not quite liquid, not quite gas, but it's captured in small vials.
Maybe that's what he is looking for.
I don't know.
I mean, I can't imagine it's good for anybody to have that. He seemed, I mean, he didn't really seem like a nice guy. He was very threatening, and he like attacked her, and he's blackmailing her, and she was so upset, and she didn't want me to help, but I think she was just trying to keep me safe. But as long as I graduate, then maybe we can together try
Doesn't
to
sound
find a way
like
to help her.
that she is safe either.
What does he have over her?
I don't know. Maybe just the threat of.
And she's a
Violence
powerful
against her?
scholar and user of magic, and so this vampire, if he is able to stand against her and
She said
threaten
he's very
her with
powerful.
he must be of great power
She said he's very
compared to a
powerful,
professor of the school.
and that also the person guarding the collector, guarding everything, guarding the piece of immortality is also very powerful. She wasn't sure who would win that fight, so they both seem very powerful.
Did you find anything more out about this collection of artifacts? Because I stumbled upon a piece of information that seems eerily similar to that recently, actually.
No, just that there's some collector that just kind of hoards them and guards them and just collects them, I guess.
Well, portal into the Fae feels like a good lead. So maybe second law should go down. Get the drop down.
That's like five.
Just
cat,
like that.
5 cat counters.
Quite a cat counter event.
Scared the shit out of me.
I tried to stop him previously.
I know.
and he
I kind of
decided
saw it
to-
coming, but I was like, "Well, I'm monologuing right now, so what are you gonna do?"
That's Mac, everybody.
Everyone roll initiative.
You were interested in returning to the Feywild. When we talked a little while ago, you explained how you came through a portal that let you into worlds.
Yeah,
so maybe this is a way back for you to look for your sister.
Yeah, I don't know how to get back, but if this is a lead, this is definitely a good step in the right direction.
What was on the paper that you
I don't know. I think a bunch of names of people who bought some Herringon feet. I don't know.
You
Is
were
there?
interested because they're trading in your people.
Well,
We should
if
stop
anyone is maybe collecting them, I don't know. So it seems it can connect. So
Maybe this guy's got your leg.
What
I
was
don't
the
know.
piece of
Or is
information?
the person who deals with the legs, or selling them, or collects them, or knows how to get who's the getting them? I don't know.
Tell me, you mentioned.
When I was looking at the maps earlier, I was trying to figure out, there was an area of the sea that I was interested in investigating from a moment that I had in Foundtown related to Emiya, my deity, and
This was the map that you saw in Dreads?
yes, and it showed a spot in the ocean, so I was trying to figure out what that was, and all I could figure out was it was someplace called the Heart of the Ocean, and it was a place of great power, or that great powerful artifacts were kept in, and I don't. It just seemed eerily similar
That
to
is a coincidence.
this, but it seemed very mythical and based mostly on legends. So I'm not too sure, but it
seems like a very kind of Feywild thing if it's very
But if the
vague and mythical and legendy.
yeah, I don't know. It seems the portal is here though, and that was in the ocean. It just I don't know. There's too much unknown about what this could all mean.
And the portal, you're sure, is in the lemon
She
drop.
said it was in the lemon drop and controlled by the glitz and glower.
Well, do we think she knows more? We could shake her down a bit.
Well,
I mean,
Or maybe
ask
help
her
her a little
questions.
bit.
Ask her some
she
questions.
I know, there's so much to do, and then you have your presentation tomorrow. What are we gonna do?
Well, I don't know if she really knows that much more. She didn't really seem to know much more about the collector or what's there. Just that she could. He mentioned having her open the door, so maybe it's not always open. Maybe
Something needs to
even the
happen.
glitz and glower. They need a nickname, by the way. Well,
a
maybe
mouthful.
they
Gag.
also need.
Glitz and goners.
That's good.
The gag.
The gag.
The gag is.
Well, and maybe I don't. That sounds kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe they also need Professor Veyron to open it for them, and so they can kind of guard it and control it that way, but maybe they can't open it themselves. I'm not really sure how they work. I didn't know that she even knew how to really control them that much. I thought that she also just we would just go watch for the random ones that would open to see if we could see anything about them and write it down, and we would usually just both ended the trip with like, oh, that was weird, didn't see any that time, or oh, it disappeared again. Like, I don't know.
You mentioned time pressure when we were on the boat.
He said she had till tomorrow to open it for them.
Tomorrow,
he mentioned
tomorrow when?
I don't know. The bad guys really should be more accurate, you know? That'd be nice.
She's meeting him again?
I guess she will either go open the portal for him, and he mentioned other people too, I think a couple other people, or she doesn't show up, and then I guess he will go after her.
Well, I mean, he's a vampire, right? So
is vampire knowledge like at least commonly kind of understood? At least like,
I mean, yeah, they're
essentially the sunlight thing.
yeah. There.
Okay.
I mean, there's like the very
The
general kind
creatures of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like the very basic.
if
Yeah.
like the
Connection
legends,
with blood.
They're
There's certainly by no means like
mystical,
common
the
like
yeah.
creatures.
Seeing one, but is one thing, but an understanding the sort of general idea.
Folklore. Yeah.
well,
Very
if,
high level.
if the legends are true, then assuming he is actually a vampire, then he probably would have to wait until night in order to do this.
Oh yeah.
So if it's
That's
tomorrow,
true.
we probably have at least until sundown. Maybe?
That's
or maybe
that's
very,
true.
very early in the morning.
Yeah. But who wants to wake up that?
And I mean, that would be like his bedtime, right? So
You would think
Right.
so.
he would be tired, and he who wants to also do something, who wants to stay up all night? You need good rest to be able to function well the next morning.
Right.
Speaking
You need breakfast. Anyway,
Need a
sorry.
good break.
Speaking of is it time for you to prepare finally for be well rested for your presentation tomorrow? Or do we have more to discuss, or
Well,
we can meet
do I know what
afterwards?
time my presentation is? Like,
Your appointment is for like mid-afternoon.
well, it's not until like mid-afternoon, so I mean, obviously I don't want to stay up very late, but it's still just kind of like like late evening or like 9ish or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I don't go to bed that early. Give me some credit.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was.
I've
just
been
like,
to
the way
parties.
Riz was describing it. Seems like you were always in.
He
that
likes to give me a
Exactly.
hard time, but I've
Okay.
gone to parties before
Yeah.
for a little while.
One time I passed curfew, I heard.
Ooh, that's right.
He tricked me. Probably the one time he outsmarted me. But you know,
Daylight savings time, wasn't it?
yeah, I don't know why they do that. It doesn't make any sense.
Something to do with magically lines. Right?
Yeah.
Only the keen mind wizards get to class on time the next day. It's really infuriating.
Time wizards.
But no, I mean, was there anything else that you all found out, or
Well,
we have a little more
Just
time?
a list of names,
like
but
the names of
I don't know.
traders in random parts.
Yeah,
This is brutal.
I mean,
Does it
I don't
say
know.
anything else on there, or is it just names?
just
I, like-
names who.
I'll kind of like
Yeah.
mhm. And then if there's anything on there that I can't understand, then I'll just do comprehend languages.
There's plenty written there in Sylvan, but if once you cast that,
Yeah,
it'll be translated for you.
yeah. I'll pass it.
Ooh, or what about Zakkai? What do you think? Do you see anything on it too? You know funny words. Is there any
Is the-
cant on there?
Yeah, is there any like little scribbles? Any?
Yes, actually.
Hmm.
A couple things,
It's all in
basically.
Sylvan.
Oh wait, actually.
You know Sylvan?
Not
Wait, what does that little bunny in the corner mean?
A little sketch of a rabbit, which you know in Thieves' Cant means death.
It's like, ooh, it means. It's carrot season soon.
Wow.
Knew it.
Yeah, good
They're,
news.
they're gonna be great in Found Town.
There are a couple of these camp marks that you would recognize basically just as the thief translation of kind of like order sell, that kind of like, it's just basically thieves can't inventory. But at least it kind of gives you an idea of like, oh, okay, this is going in, this is going out. It does seem to be a ledger of both like importing Herringon parts and selling them.
Interesting.
It seems that most of it is being imported. There's a lot of Herringon feet specifically coming in from the Feywild. Only once or twice is it actually sold. Same name on all those cells, all those sales. You see the name Scamella. Skumella.
Actually,
what's Scamella?
yeah, you see these?
Ooh.
Have you heard of a
Do you know that?
No?
Nope, I've never heard that name before. I think.
What's
Well,
a
They
name?
are buyers or sellers?
She was the
buyer.
buyer.
Is there anything with like
the only name
amber
really-
fur in
She's
it? Like,
had two.
like mine?
Yeah, do they have fur descriptions for the?
No detail.
No, it's
No,
just
it's
like
no
a
detail.
date
Sorry.
and time of
Well, that, I guess
import.
no news is maybe
but-
good news.
She said
How long ago
two
did you?
purchases. Two.
How long ago did you end up in
I think maybe
this
it was.
realm? You said.
It's maybe been like 8 months ago since Sledgehog found me in once and Nik-Nak put my leg together. So it's not been long.
So can
Is
I
it-
go
is it
through
dated for 8
to
months
yeah
ago?
find one approximately around 8 months ago?
Or is either of
Getting the leg and
Scamella's from
traveling
8 months
here and
ago?
everything.
You see that one of the purchases was made 4 weeks ago. The other one was made 63 years ago.
Oh,
She's been around a while.
Quite a movable inventory.
Time
It's dry
I
goods.
was reading
It'll
back
keep.
into
Yeah.
my order passes. You must know this. You
No.
from this area.
I
Time passes differently there, no?
I mean, I think so. That's what I've heard, but that's the only time I know. So I don't know how time could
But
be
if-
different.
It's different
If
down
this
here.
person is buying them here, and if it is the Glitzenglau tracking the imports, then it's probably written in our time here and not in the whatever time they keep over there. So maybe this, and there's no extra information, just like date, time, who bought it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I guess that's kind of all we have to go on, but if we can find any leads about Scamella, then
I mean,
maybe that'll give us a hint.
names are powerful with Fae, so it's something. So thanks for reading it.
Yeah, of course.
And if anything, we can just always go down there and you know, if they have a portal, maybe go somewhere or find any of this name, or maybe the collector knows the name, or I don't know. It's a good start.
Yeah.
I'm feeling hopeful.
We'll
Thanks.
help find your sister,
Yeah.
and I'll like roll it up and hand it back to you.
Thanks.
We should be cautious going back there in case that page is missed.
Well, should I just rip it up then?
No.
Well,
okay.
the absence of the page
Well,
in the
it's gone
book
now.
Yeah.
will possibly
Oh.
be connected to our visit if she's able to make that connection.
But hopefully-
she did not
We'll just
seem
lay low. It's
important
fine.
to me. She seemed very.
Do you want to put it in the bag?
Ooh, yeah. Put it back.
All right. Well,
That's that.
here we go.
So we
in the bag
Well,
now.
No,
revisit.
Okay.
no proof.
Feel
no
good about that.
crime, right?
Out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of bag.
You all met her too, right?
She's
Not you.
definitely gonna be mad.
Who was down there?
This
An idiot.
her name was Matilda.
Matilda.
She was in charge, I think.
Yeah,
Of the,
she's the
this,
boss.
In charge of.
mafia,
A fairy.
organized crime.
Wow.
The gag.
You met the
Of the
boss
gang.
in charge of the whole thing?
It seems so.
Yeah.
Was it the boss or maybe someone who just did
Or-
books?
Well, or at
Hard to
least,
tell.
or at least maybe of that aspect of the.
She seemed in a position of authority to
Yes.
negotiate. information.
She did have a very long cigarette.
Well,
She did know a lot of names. But she didn't think any Nik-Nak stuff was impressive. so
Right?
she didn't...
oh,
She can't be that
So
smart.
silly.
She doesn't believe in technology.
See? Stupid.
I couldn't walk
She's-
without it, so...
her limited beliefs are gonna hold her back. Yeah. Well.
This is a lot.
Does she seem like
Yeah.
somebody that we could work with, or
Well, she didn't want to work with
offer
us.
something
Not
to
of evidence
her?
of our meeting
Yeah,
with
She
her.
really wanted something
Sure.
to trade, and nothing that we had she was interested in at all.
But she wouldn't specify
What
anything
she's
she
interested
was
in?
interested in.
I think she
Hmm.
probably deals more in information if the Book of Names is any indication.
Yeah.
Is that what the page is from? Is it from a book called the Book of Names?
She
No.
didn't have a
You're
name.
just calling it that.
It was
Oh.
It's a very
her
good name,
ledger.
though. I do
Her-
like it.
That's a good name, yeah.
her ledger of information.
Yeah.
They seem to be a criminal network based mostly on illicit trade and the knowledge of those things.
Mm-hmm.
She did indicate that there was a price that would persuade her to part, or as she put it, sell out people she traded with, but we were not able to meet it with the things we offered, and she did not specify
It's.
in what way we could satisfy it.
I would imagine it's probably a very steep price if it's would be enough to have her sell out a customer.
Certainly beyond what we were able to offer, but no clues as to what it would be. So
Was there, when you went downstairs, was it just one room, or was it
it was
many
No.
levels?
No, there was a
or-
lot of
A lot of
levels.
stuff.
There was
Very
this
many
one
floors.
with a bunch of goblins, and this one lady, and Tim was going to tell me later on what they were doing because it was loud.
Was it like
And there
They
were also animals,
expressing
exotic
themselves.
animals from the Fae in cages, and
oh,
Yes,
no.
many things.
substances,
lab.
pharmaceutical drugs of
So
some,
like
of some
just
kind.
all kinds of just
Lots of the
bad,
kinds of things
dark,
you would expect
illicit
in a
things.
underground.
A lot of
Yes.
stuff to make you gag.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, clearly a bed of many vices.
Not one you would want to sleep in.
Maybe
Maybe that
maybe
goblin
Riz
level.
can help us think of something to
You know
that
what?
she would want.
Even Riz seemed very uncomfortable there, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
He's brave and has bravado and was very proud to have made the contact, but he did not want to be there.
He did
Mm.
pale a bit when it came to the name Matilda mentioned, which is another indication, I think, that she is
It
not
was
to
good
be
of him
messed
to
with.
take us, but
Yeah.
I don't think he is as comfortable in those circles as he pretends.
Oh, wait. Maybe we could steal something from the school. The school's got a whole bunch of stuff.
What? As
She might want to trade for
To
it.
trade?
Yeah, why
Well,
not?
we shouldn't do anything to
Well,
jeopardize
but-
harmony
but-
here.
Anything in the
No,
school is
Oh
gonna
wait,
be
after she
very
graduates, then we can take
highly
stuff.
Not,
Yeah.
not while she's still a student.
No, yeah.
Maybe,
Tomorrow.
maybe,
after-
maybe
after-
there's something
after.
that the professors won't miss.
That
I
this
mean,
may not be appropriate.
If you
I-
think about it, we have something that's more valuable than anything at this school.
To grab on a sledge. No.
He is very valuable, and we
That's,
love him so greatly.
that's too
She's
great
not
of
talking
information
about
if you're
that.
talking about the Titan and the nest and
The
the
nest?
egg.
We
If
can't-
that's what you're talking about,
we
that's,
can't
we can't
possibly trade
jeopardize
that.
that.
I'm not saying we give it to her, I'm just saying if we're trying to think of the most valuable thing that we have access to,
After sledge.
Maybe
Harmony, the stress is
After
getting you. You're
Sledge.
talking crazy.
we could sell him
it would
a
also be
dissertation.
extremely foolish to try to steal anything from the school. Some of the most gifted mages in the world are working here and protecting, specifically knowing they should be protecting and keeping secret items that
you're
strong.
right. You're right. But they are also gifted and powerful, but terrified of this enemy that we are contemplating going up against.
Yeah, maybe
This,
we can.
this professor of yours was not equal to this threat. This makes them a very powerful enemy.
Maybe your professor has some neat stuff that she can just lend away, or any old experiments or things to give us that could be valuable.
It seems
mean-
so strange that she wouldn't try and work against this? Like, you've spoken so highly of her that it must be something very strong that this vampire has over her. I'm a bit baffled why there wouldn't be more help offered, or why she wouldn't go to someone.
Could she not talk to the other professors and they could band together?
I don't know. I mean, if you got caught up in some really risky, dark sort of plot that would cause you to lose your job that was the thing you valued most in the world, would you just go running to the other professors to tell them exactly what's happening?
No. You're right.
Well, I don't think we can solve it this night, but perhaps we revisit tomorrow and think more what our next course should be. But you also should get ready.
Yeah, we'll have to think more on it. I think we also can't just start trying to steal valuable objects, hoping that they're valuable enough to get Matilda to tell us where a portal to the Feywild is.
It was very clear that she
there's
would not
many
specify
other
what
ways
she
we could
wanted.
do stuff.
Yeah, that was unhelpful.
But everyone, now that we know that there's some danger here, please keep an eye out and don't do anything rash.
We should perhaps stay close to each other this evening.
This school will be safe. There's plenty of protective wards and magics around the school, keeping, anyone who's not a student or a registered visitor or a professor out.
Can't hurt to
I
be
assume.
can't hurt to be a
I'm
little more
assuming.
I
cautious.
don't know, I fell into a shattered fate portal the other day.
I mean, I don't think there's ever been any vampire students, but,
That's a little problematic.
that's...
Maybe they're taking night classes, you don't know.
I mean, I like to keep tabs a little bit about what's going on in school. I think I am in enough clubs to know a good number of people. I think I would know if there's a vampire in school. Is there a vampire in school? Yeah, I would know.
One of the after curfew classes.
I would know.
She's a
I
bit
would
like
definitely
10.
know.
How does she know? What does she know?
Well, we have at least one thing in our favor, and that's Basil. Because you can do that thing where you find out about dead people, like you did with... like you did with when we saw that dead squirrel.
Yep.
Yes, right.
But if it's a spell
That
specific,
alive body.
if it's a spell specific
Inciting
to
this.
humanoids,
That was
then
a nat
it
20.
wouldn't detect a squirrel. But I don't think magic really works that way. Usually it's specific to humanoid creatures, and so it wouldn't detect a squirrel.
I mean,
But a squirrel with a person who's been transformed into a squirrel and then was killed.
Tem
like
is just gonna
polymorph.
put his hands on Nik-Nak's shoulders. We're very tired, aren't we?
Yeah!
There's time to talk about all things. Perhaps after what will be a very interesting dissertation proposal tomorrow.
Can I insight
Oh.
check her to see if she was offended that I?
Yeah.
I think that's +1.
She's not trying to be. I'm not trying to deceive or anything.
No. I just wanted to see if if what I said made you be like,
No.
Okay.
No,
I got
I
11
mean,
anyway.
you get the sense, I think, from the last time it came out, she's pretty matter of fact about it. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
something that she treats as a.
They tell us.
She doesn't wander in talking
didn't
about
think
it.
so.
Right,
It's
right.
not, it's
I
not
didn't think
something
that's
that
right.
she's very.
That's why I was like, what is happening?
She doesn't bring it up, mostly because it might be misunderstood.
Right.
But with the group of people that she knows, it's a matter of fact. We all have these features that are part of us. So
And you
she's-
did mention it last time that you would kind of explain.
I said
yeah.
I would be happy to talk about it. Yeah. So yeah, no offense at all. I mean, also Anara is socially kind of quite difficult to read anyway.
Right.
So she's a little bit off
Yeah.
in a lot of her interactions.
She's just looking at you, and you're like,
Yeah. So you get nothing that she's offended.
Okay.
But I don't think you've seen her offended by anything except
Right.
when she's in a fight
Yeah.
and people try and hurt her.
Yeah.
When she gets mad.
or think she can't hurt them.
wait, before you guys leave for the night, so Okay, let me just run, because, I want to give enough information tomorrow about what we did and what we found to be very impressive, because obviously our whole adventure was so cool and we found out so much good information, and I just don't want to, I want you all to make sure that I don't say, I want a second opinion, so I don't maybe say too much. So let me just,
of course.
why don't I I'll go over, I'll give a little demonstration.
Please.
Ooh, preview.
A summary, yeah, that was good. Yeah, good.
Okay, so I was, the map, obviously, that's fine. Yeah.
You made it yourself.
Yeah, so we have the map, and, so the whole Selka thing, I was just gonna try to give a little spin to it where she was just, kind of tragically corrupted by this, mysterious evil magic, and, we did have to fight her and her minions and kill them, but we had no choice. They attacked us. She was driven crazy by this something in the forest.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
It's not a lie, it seems.
No, yeah, it touches on the important parts.
And I wanted to try a little bit to, at least for posterity, sort of give her story a little better spin than maybe it had in reality.
The victors write history, so I guess whatever you want to say.
Is it a good idea to tell your professors you killed people, though, even if it was in self-defense? Couldn't that get you in trouble?
No, part of the adventuring, the Young Adventurer's Handbook, you're allowed to defend yourself.
You're allowed to kill people at your school?
I mean,
not intentionally.
No, but
But what are you supposed to do if they're trying to kill you?
I mean, I guess I just didn't.
We tried
figure
everything
that
we
was-
could to.
the world is a brutal place sometimes.
At the end,
You don't have to tell
at
me.
the end of the
Sometimes
day, I
things are
mean,
really black and white.
this is an academy to prepare the young adventurers of tomorrow.
I guess I just mostly think about you guys just reading books all day.
Well, we do.
Well, it is mostly theory, yes,
Oh,
but
okay.
But and
practical
and that was my
application.
first time fighting anybody. But it is to, we are the people that put ourselves at risk to help and save other people, and so we are skilled, and sometimes it includes violence.
I mean, it's not something I ever pictured myself doing, but since our adventures started, it's become very clear that sometimes drastic action needs to be
Not
taken.
everybody takes that path, and we try to avoid it.
So
But
I'm sure we'll be fine, and you seem to have a
but
good,
we won't get in trouble.
a
for it.
good
Okay. Great.
a good spin on the information
can give
can
it a good
probably
spin.
make it less of a eyebrow raise, because that's the last thing we want them to be intrigued enough to potentially offer up more information, but not too much.
Oh, and I mean, any fighter or barbarian or anybody else that goes on their graduation or their final project trip, they're killing
Probably
tons of people.
much more.
Yeah,
They
it-
kill so many people.
It makes sense. I guess I just didn't.
Really, only
Think about it like
only kind
Different
of
way of protecting.
4-ish is kind of low.
I agree.
Yeah, you don't have to tell her about everybody we've killed.
No, just the main.
Just keep the powerful bullet points.
It's and when the true history of what happened can come out, I'm sure it will, because Selka she was a very tragic woman in the end, I would say.
It
And
is
so-
not
was.
any of our business as the second law to worry about the reputation of anybody.
Right,
Fix the
right,
problem.
right.
If we need to protect reputations, I cannot.
Well, at least for this.
If you wish to make her
I'm.
the victim rather than a perpetrator,
I don't want to.
what does it matter?
I don't want to incorrectly portray, but
Then that is
more
your choice.
to just retell her story in a way that maybe takes a bit of the intention out of what she was doing.
Will you be
Not as much.
mentioning the Tartarucci at all, or just glossing over that?
But I don't know. I was mostly, I think, in the interest of not prompting too many additional questions, I was just going to say that we followed Selka's path into the woods, and
the less that is mentioned about Port elsewhere and the
If we
very
mention
large
this-
explosion that happened.
because, like
a few
you all
weeks ago.
said, the more we talk about the Titans and the nest, and I hate to think that anybody on this, the council would have any ill intentions, but
Of course.
At
You
least
never
one
know.
already has.
you never know who might be listening or who might be
And,
being blackmailed and feels they have no choice.
and you never
So
know
we'll just leave out some.
how many dots they could connect too. Anything beyond what is necessary could give it away. So
And usually I am definitely one to go above and beyond on an assignment. So you can all tell Riz that this time I'm doing the bare minimum.
but you're still gonna get that A
You
plus.
will be
Well, my
very
bare minimum.
impressed.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
And then
Very basic. No Tartarucci.
no elsewhere. No port elsewhere.
No.
No mention of port
No.
elsewhere.
Well, are you gonna
Well,
show
they
them?
know I went
Are
there.
you gonna show them
But they don't
the
know
final
that
spot
is-
on the map where Selka is?
Well,
If they go and
I'm
investigate,
giving them the map.
what if they go try to find her? We buried her for a reason.
We buried the nest, right? Just
The nest
No,
is
but
in
the
Downtown.
nest is in Town.
It is buried.
Oh,
in
we
town.
That's like buried in
collapsed
But
Downtown.
that area is
We also
cut off.
destroyed the mechanism.
because we didn't want
Yeah.
people to
Yeah.
have
Right.
access to all the lifeblood stuff.
yeah, and we like wrapped it in
We don't know.
extra iron and
For
stuff.
the purposes of the dissertation, it matters not the accuracy of the map's location of the object more than
The
you match
information.
the Lost Woods, which
Yeah.
no one has done before.
Yes.
You escaped the Lost Woods and then present, I presume, theoretical thoughts about the existence of this item
You think I
in
should?
the hope that we might learn if they know something.
You think I should
Yeah.
move the Selka's X on the map?
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
A false lead, maybe.
If they ever try to find it and it's not there, the forest changes all the time.
Yeah. I see how that would be maybe the safest thing to do for everybody. Okay, yeah, I can change it. I'll just move it a little further south, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't love the idea, but I see what you're saying. Okay, well,
Or make the location broader. Not an X, but a circle
But a Z.
with a larger diameter. It is somewhere in here.
okay.
Yeah, if you weren't able
Then
to
it is not a lie.
pinpoint it.
Okay.
It is not
I'll
a
just draw
false claim.
I'll just draw a circle around the X
Good.
and erase the X. Okay, and I'll add an annotation so they can see what it means, and I'll add some notes on the side. Okay. Okay, then I guess. Well, okay, so we'll give them the picture of the nest.
Yes.
They can't really do anything with that. We couldn't really figure out more with that.
Right.
And was it like a known, kind of known-ish mythological sort of like item, or no? No one's really ever.
No, we
okay.
couldn't find any information on it. Yeah.
Okay,
It was just
And
kind
the,
of a box.
The
We're just like, who knows what this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
the expectation that there might exist some key, but no reference that we have one.
Yeah, because in the picture, even there you can see that there's the lock there, and
Yeah.
And it looks so complicated.
This is the real root of what we would be looking for any reaction from
Yes.
this group of people who would know. So
Learn
this is a
it-
key
learn
part
its
of it.
comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To see who might have any more information about this or be aware of it.
Okay. And so we'll show them the nest, and then I'll just say we followed her track through the woods. We got to an area where everything started changing around a lot. We found this picture buried in a box, and then stumbled upon her minions who attacked us, her in her lair, big final fight, etc., etc. Okay, yes. And, oh, and I wrote a copy of, The Siege of the Scarlet Rail. For a little, okay, maybe I did go a little above and beyond. That's going to be for bonus credit.
Does this mention that it happened in Port Elsewhere?
They know I was going to Port Elsewhere because they arranged the train ticket for me. So they teleported me to Grisha, where that was the last known place that Selka had been working at the library there, and then someone had said she was on the train. So then, I had to get my professors to give me the money for the ticket. So I got the student ticket, and then I took the train. So they knew I was going to Port Elsewhere because they keep some tabs on us just so that we're not just who knows where.
Slightly concerned that we get linked to the explosion of the lighthouse.
But them knowing that I was in Port Elsewhere doesn't.
But the story tells of. Remind us of the song.
Yeah, it was the ruse where some people attacked the train and then
Tried to take some kids.
and they tried to attack these children, and then these strangers that looked nothing like
Nothing about
us.
a lighthouse. Nope.
None of them looked anything
No
like
grand
us.
finale.
Saved the children, saved the train, and fled town.
Yeah, that's extra credit. Really good.
Yeah. And then, oh yeah, the runes.
In Fountain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell them about those, and maybe when they go to help the people that are stuck there, they can also send people that maybe know more about runes, about ancient magic,
And how people can teleport them out. Right.
and start investigating those too.
That's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just in general, it'd be. I mean, I'm
This-
very interested to
yes.
know
That'd
how
be
those work, and
fascinating. That could be a whole
Yeah.
another thesis project.
Yeah.
I'm basically passing the torch to the next
Extra
generation of scholars.
Nice.
Your information could be what saves and solves the problem of the Lost Woods.
We saved so many people. We saved way more
Scholarship
people than we
works. You
killed.
try one thing and you discover a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like a whole other book.
I'm gonna write that book.
I
Maybe.
think it
Okay.
sounds
Well.
very good
okay.
harmony.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
a
Should we
good
make
level
sure
of
that-
detail without specifying too much.
Yes.
Does everyone
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good. I should
And,
make
and
sure you
we'll
guys
be there
all.
tomorrow.
Sometimes it is good to have, peer review.
Yes.
Now my dissertation is peer reviewed.
Speaking of, while we're discussing all of this, I would like to try and.
Not listening.
Well, no, I'm listening. I'm totally listening. But I am trying to
school supplies
Has
in the
there
bag.
been any word around here that this cliffside of Port Elsewhere was just exploded somewhat recently and destroyed, or is that not nationwide news?
It was on the local news.
I mean, it was only, a week ago, right?
Regional at best.
No buzz about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the news might not
It was
travel.
old.
It was also, it was 3-ish weeks because we've been here for 2 weeks. We were in
Oh,
there.
no,
Yeah.
now we've
Yeah.
been here for 2 weeks, yeah. But,
So
it hadn't-
did you all
it
even
wouldn't-
hear about the AutoZone that burned down? So.
Yes, I saw that on TikTok.
The lighthouse is how
So
the
only a
flamingo
few
went
of
down.
us.
Okay, just curious.
No buzz about it here.
Okay.
Then again, you also know, at least Harmony's probably translated to, the Sylvan Dynasty very much likes to keep to itself.
Isolated.
Oh, okay.
It does
Oh,
not
yeah, you
like
are
to
in
get
a
involved.
Oh, there you go.
It specifically does not like to get involved with the mess and the squabbling
Perhaps
between
when we
others.
Great. So
back
they might
on,
not care anyway.
back in Abenthal or in Kandor Republic, wherever our next paths take us, we'll know or hear what has
Not my fleas, not my fur.
what news has travelled.
Exactly.
And what they're saying about it.
Yeah. And now you all know the general flow of what I'm going to be saying, so you can be ready to look for reactions
there are
and
any-
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Professors or others in the audience who signal that they know more than we do.
Yeah.
It's a good presentation.
Okay.
You're gonna be great.
Yes.
Thanks.
When do you find out the grade and when you graduate, is there
I
a
think-
ceremony?
Well, I think they, maybe spend at most maybe a couple minutes. Maybe they ask us just to step outside for a few minutes while they discuss, and then they kind of just tell you right there whether you graduated or not. And then if you graduate, then everyone the ball is kind of a celebration
Yes,
for everybody.
The masquerade ball. That's
Mhm.
right.
Are
Yes.
we invited to the ball as guests, or we are not allowed?
Yeah, you guys should come.
We'd like to come and celebrate.
I'd like to go to a party.
Yeah.
It's a big,
Yeah.
big life event.
Never been to a ball.
Do you
It should
have
be-
to submit a paper and everything too for a thing like
No,
does Anara need to write you a cool title page and calligraphy and then some glitter and everything on there too and make it look all
I
really
think
pretty?
Harmony has
No,
already
I-
done her own cover.
I think
Oh.
I think I can just make sure to, specify that we'll just arrive together, and I'll have my diploma, obviously, and then I'll just say these are my guests,
Perfect.
Yes.
Hey.
Great.
and then we'll have a fun time at the party.
There won't be any more curfews for you now that you're done.
I'll stay the whole time.
Wow.
You guys just wait. I'm gonna party all night.
That's the attitude.
Light-
Yeah, I know. Like fall asleep in the corner.
You got it.
Have it reading books at 10.
Yeah. Reading in the bar.
Just out of
People read
interest.
in bars.
This is a party for me.
Show you all my one step.
Okay.
Alright,
Exciting.
do you guys remember how to
I
get
just got that.
back to your
Yeah. Yes. We can get
Rooms?
back. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, rest well.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll see you all at breakfast.
Good luck.
See you in the morning.
The remainder of the evening goes by real quick because you all kind of retreat back to the rooms, take it easy. Harmony probably rehearses it another few times, I would assume.
Just a couple. Make sure I don't nervously babble too much.
Mm-hmm. The following morning goes by equally quickly. The big day sort of moves. It's one of those things where just time seems to move faster than you expect it to, just because there's a big looming thing that happens in the middle of the day. Eventually, Harmony, you are summoned to the Conjurate Hall and the Galazeth Council. The highest tower at Prismari stretches high above the college and surrounding city of Yokai. A magnificent structure with a glassed-in observation area at the top. The tower is encircled by constantly changing strands of elemental energy. Artist mages can see for miles from the Conjurate observation deck, which has inspired many artistic creations that sort of line the spiral staircase that climbs the tower. Across from this beautiful vista of the view of Yokai is a set of glass stairs that lead up to a grand and intimidating door that lead to the Galazeth Council. The heads of Prismari and a deciding panel of directors that can either make or break a spellcaster's career. Eventually, Harmony, your name is called as the doors open. You're welcome to invite those that you would like with you. Professor Bayron is in attendance, but kind of hangs in the back. You see that she is in a nice, typical kind of professor robes. You do notice that perhaps for just like the special occasion or a little bit of flair, she has a little kerchief tied around her neck. You enter the chamber, dimly lit only by a handful of braziers burning both blue and deep crimson flames. The floor is a gorgeous mosaic of both marble and glass swirled together, and a golden table holds the center of the room where the 6 members of the Galazeth Council sit. You recognize Headmaster Xian, an older elven man sporting a highly decorative robes and long white mustache braided with beads and little talismans and tokens. Beside him is Deputy Headmaster Zafi Ogunda, a centaur with an Appaloosa-esque spotted pattern on his hindquarters that continue into a beautiful I don't know how to say it, vitiligo? Vitiligo, there you go. Pattern that kind of blends in with his tan skin. Flanking those two, on either side of them, you see a stunningly beautiful dryad, her head wreathed in cherry blossom petals that make up her hair. You know this to be Lady Ceruletta, a Prismari alumni and member of the City of Yokai's arcane elite. Her philanthropic work is well known and highly respected. Opposite her, you see a rotund female furbolg. You've never seen her before, but you have heard of Mistress Gladefell, a very bubbly socialite and heiress that loves funding magical projects and endeavors almost as much as she likes gossiping about them. She giddily chatters to her fellow members before hushing them when you enter the room, even though she was clearly the only one that was speaking. Finally, at the end of the table, you see someone you do not recognize. A tall, thin man with crimson and navy robes, long hair arranged in an elaborate updo, framed by a very high dramatic collar. His eyes sparkle with a golden light that mimics that of his many rings and bangles and charms that kind of dangle from his hands. Headmaster Xian rises. Welcome, Harmony Claremont, before the Galazeth Council. It is our arduous task to judge the merit of our students, to see if their contributions to the fountain of knowledge that is Primari are worthy of being having its namesake. We will now hear your submission. Know that no matter what you bring before us, we recognize your skill and talent to have made it even this far. Your academic record speaks for itself. We expect nothing less than excellence from one of our finest bardic pupils. Miss Claremont, please, proceed and enlighten us. He kind of sits back down.
And I'll just have some stuff in my arms. I'll come up to, I'm assuming, a little pedestal kind of thing.
As you walk forward, the slabs of marble and glass kind of like rise to meet your feet as they kind of like create a small staircase up to a little dais where you can kind of present.
Is the viewing gallery kind of around?
Yeah, there's sort of like, it's sort of almost like the kind of surgeon's observation room where you're kind of up in the...
I'm going to take a quick look around to see if anyone else is in attendance. Is it just us and...
Make a perception.
I want to see the same.
That's 17.
13.
You do see that it seems to be primarily these hearings seem to be mostly private. There's only the few of you that Harmony is invited in. You see Professor Veyron not too far, like kind of taking a seat on the opposite side herself. Also on the opposite side, a few levels down, Riz is here. Okay. And you see that he has a little pennant that says Harmony on it.
I'll wave. Just acknowledge.
What a sweet boy.
But I want to keep my eye on the professor.
Yeah.
As well as trying to gauge the reaction. I want to see what her reaction is.
You see, she's watching very intently and doesn't seem to be doing anything other than having a focus on Harmony.
Straighten my little pin. Good afternoon, council members. Well, what began as a search to recover the lost travelogue of famed explorer and Prismari alumni, Goran Zord, evolved into not just the creation of the only map of the Lost Woods in existence, but the revelation of just what drew Goran Zord into the deepest areas of the Lost Woods, and ultimately tragically resulted in the corruption of his esteemed colleague and surveyor, Selka Moreau. Here you'll find what began as pieces of Selka's original map. And I'll like pass it to the council.
You're kind of like.
Here you'll find what began as pieces of Selka's original map, now organized and expanded upon by myself, and including the addition of a detailed inset of Found Town, which we explored personally, and other annotations to explain the additions that I've made, signed and dated. We also discovered a detailed drawing of some sort of mythological item, is called the nest, which I believe is what Goran and, for the last few decades, Selka had been in the woods searching for. And then, and then it's the nest drawing. I arrived in Grisha, as you all know, where you sent me initially. Selka had been working in the Royal Library there, but had taken the Scarlet Rail down to Port Elsewhere on the inaugural ride. So I also boarded the train. I also ended up in Port Elsewhere and met my friends and adventuring party that you see here with me today.
All the I kind of like heads tilt upward and see just a bunch of the waving.
We are the Second Law.
Cool pose, cool pose.
These kind and capable fellow adventurers of mine assisted me in picking up Selka's trail, and we followed her from Port Elsewhere to the edge of the Lost Woods and beyond. We walked for days through the woods following her trail and found our way to a spot that she had marked on the map, which you will see circled on the map, is an area that we believe is what she was searching for. That's where we found the drawing of the nest that you see. And after a bit more searching, we were violently set upon by just indescribable mutated humanoid creatures, and proved our worthy fighting abilities and magic prowess, and defeated and came out victorious against these our enemies. And we found Selka, and tragically, when we found her, she had fallen victim to some strange magic in the woods, and we were not able to reach a diplomatic solution, to say the least. And they can all attest that I tried. I tried very hard. So,
all of us just do yes.
A tragic end to a great scholar. In her honor, as a famed archivist and intellectual, I took the liberty of writing down her tragic and cautionary tale into Prismari's copy of Memoir and Myths of Terragia. And I'm sorry I took it from the library, but I wanted to make sure that it was transcribed correctly, and from a first person's point of view, and who saw the events unfold. So if anything, it just speaks to my ability and all that I've learned here at Prismari, that you didn't even notice that it was missing.
Harmony.
Oh.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Please continue.
Councilman, I'm so sorry, but I did do a little bonus research credit. You know, not that there's extra credit, but if there is, as a bonus, here is a completely original, only performed for a single night to great acclaim, copy of The Siege of the Scarlet Rail to add to the anthology of contemporary epic poetry in the Prismari Library. And as to pass the torch to the next generation of scholars and investigators, we believe we've also rediscovered some ancient runic-based magic in the Lost Woods around Foundtown that I'm sure when the delegation has been sent to rescue the remaining citizens of Foundtown, they can also begin new research and investigation into this runic magic that they've been using there to help navigate. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time.
I'm going to need 3 separate rolls. We
My
will
mouth is dry.
add the culminating results of each roll together. You will roll an Arcana check, a Performance check, and a Persuasion check. The DC is 43 for a passing grade.
Okay.
Is there any arcane detection going on in this room right now? Can there be some subtle performance enhancing boosts that might happen? Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's probably.
As you say, professors.
I also want to have then, as it was on unfolding, we were I think all
watching.
for particular.
Yes, any of the.
Oh yeah, that's true.
professors.
Sorry, I definitely didn't pause.
No,
No, we were.
You
That
were
was
on
our,
the-
our,
you were
stated,
on
our
the-
stated
Yeah.
our stated intention was.
Once, yeah, we
Yeah.
and I mean,
No,
including,
Basil was all eyes on
the other
Harmony.
professor, the one who was in the lemon drop. I'm going to be watching her reaction as well. But on the council, particularly when
Yeah.
any of those particular details, recognition,
Yeah. All those whispers you were doing up there.
knowledge,
Each of us will watch one of the faces.
Yeah.
alarm.
Absolutely. Everyone who is watching, give me an insight check.
Okay.
What stuff?
50.
15,
27.
27,
19, which I keep rolling.
Dirty 20.
I used
8.
channel a little.
Basil, you got
Yeah, I was watching Harmony the whole time.
time.
I was like, oh yeah, I need to watch someone's like, Harmony's doing a great job.
Couple of you notice a few things. A bit to your relief, Anara, especially because you were the one that was kind of focusing on. I mean, probably gauging the reactions of the council, but primarily your eyes would flick up over to Professor.
Yeah,
Van
once
Ryn.
now we've had this interaction with her, I was curious about what her reaction was particularly.
It's a bit of a relief to you that the only insight that you're able to read from her is an exuberant amount of pride, as she just kind of like nods along, kind of very just like would occasionally give the very like little gestures. To kind of, yes,
Pretty
absolutely,
well.
absolutely.
Had a girl. Yeah.
There's a scatter and mix of kind of reactions that come from the council. You all, anyone that rolled high, know that the headmaster, Professor Xian, is incredibly difficult to read. He is incredibly stoic and just sort of sits, and while the others have been like passing around the handouts and investigating and reading and looking at the maps, he will like give them a kind of passing glance, but his attention is primarily fixed on Harmony. The deputy headmaster, Zafi, the centaur, do you notice that he seems to be the most excited and most the one who seems to have the only one on the council, to be perfectly honest, that seems to show any interest in seeking out Found Town and rescuing those people.
Mm-hmm.
But you do see that he does see a lot of you see a lot of interest in that. He also has a few follow-up questions. I won't go into all of them, but he does ask oh, the state of these people. What are they? How are they in desperate need of help? Are they thriving or surviving? Do they want to stay there? They kind of drill a few of those questions into.
They have carrots
No,
now.
they're desperate to leave and they have one bento box.
Please help them.
Ceruletta, the dryad, definitely seems to be far more interested in the actual research part of it. She is the one that seems to be kind of waving off anything that's outside of the actual discovery and mapping of the Lost Woods. Doesn't seem to be interested, but she does seem to just consider that in very high regard. Mistress Gladefell, the furball, who's kind of there, you see that she has a difficult time keeping quiet for as long as she did for the length of the presentation. There's a lot of like hands about to go up to interfere before it's put down by another one of the others. She has the most questions afterwards, primarily about the contents of the song and or poem, a lot of the finer details, she has a lot of not personal, but in terms of academic questions, they veer off to a more sort of what's your experience? How do you feel about it? What was
Then what happened?
Yeah, she's very, very that. The taller, thin man with the crimson navy robes and the high collar doesn't speak the entire time. Does do a lot of perusing and investigating, looking over things. A lot of whispers to the other members. Those that made insight checks can see that he definitely had a high investment in pretty much the entire presentation from beginning to end. But anytime that he makes a comment to the others, they, regardless of what it is, kind of nod along, and he seems to carry a lot of weight, even more than the headmaster of the school.
Mm-hmm.
But all of them seem to have a very positive reaction to Harmony's. Unfortunately, no hidden agendas or sort of hidden interests or spiking something that they already knew. All of it seemed to be pretty new to them.
Good.
Probably best.
She's got it in the bag.
So I need to do, you said
An
Arcana.
Arcana roll, a Persuasion roll, and a Performance roll.
Okay. Alright, do Arcana. It's 21 total.
Already off to a great start.
Performance. Natural 20.
Yes!
For a 27.
Smash
on my special harmony dice.
Smash
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
A triple plus.
They gotta invent a new grade,
Persuasion. That's a natural 1. 4 and 11.
Okay.
That's pretty high.
Even the harmony dice was like, we will not fail.
Yeah.
How many dice
Did you break 60?
That's
What is the grand total?
48, 59.
59.
Wow.
It was almost a perfect score.
Flying
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah, that's
great. Even with that one.
They all sort of whisper and delegate to one another after all their questions are completed. Before Headmaster Jean rises again. Thank you for your time and contribution, Miss Claremont. Please step outside, give us a moment to confer, and we will speak with you shortly.
Okay.
And thank you all in attendance, and we appreciate those that look after our students. He kind of looks up and gestures to all the 5 of you. Believe us that we here at Prismari recognize that it is not just scholarly pursuits that keep the world turning. It is a very large part of it, we will admit, but nothing moves on its own. There's no accomplishments that are made without others to recognize them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be accomplishments at all. We appreciate it. We thank you so much for caring for and looking after one of our own. Consider Prismari a second home to you. We are more than welcome to host you at any time.
Thank you.
Kindly also ask you to wait outside of the
Sorry.
closet.
Get out.
How many rules? Double bond. Peace out.
I think she won.
Yeah, I think that went well.
Harmony, that
I
was
think
great.
that went well.
Good job.
The only-
High fives all around.
I feel like they might wonder why I well, some of the parts of the story might seem maybe a little incomplete to them, at least to the professors that know me. They might be a little surprised why I didn't speak more in detail, but I think it was still pretty good.
You had so much extra stuff. As
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and that was the alluring part.
Yeah, I tried to give as much
But you
flourish
did
to
have
the
some
extra stuff to
Yeah,
kind of
no.
cover over maybe some of the lack of
You-
the
oh, you gave
specific
them so
detail.
much.
They were engaged
In a good way,
and
in a good way.
very,
Yeah.
very intrigued.
And I
by
took
all
the
of it.
book out of the library right from under their noses.
Wow.
Pretty good.
How can they?
Flexing on them.
Yeah.
You're gonna give it back to her.
I
We
did-
always give back library books. We
How
always
did you
do.
manage to send the others back?
We did.
You know, I did not expect
We
them to
did.
give those books back.
No, I
We
didn't.
I told you we would.
We would,
Proud of
absolutely.
them.
But you
Proud of
did
them.
it, Harmony. I'm sure that this is a
Yeah.
good outcome.
There's a soft, warm breeze before Riz kind of glides into the group a little bit, and he's like, "I gotta hand it to you. That's the most solid B+ I've ever seen."
Well,
We'll see.
you're too kind. I was actually almost a little nervous. That usually never happens, but I think it went pretty well.
I think he did pretty good, but I do say so myself.
Harmony did
I'll be
great.
an alum soon.
Well, mine is in a couple hours, and I didn't finish, so I'll
Riz!
be right back. And he kind of floats off.
What room? I'll get the room of his presentation. And he still
After-
manages to get a C+ at least on all of his stuff. It's really incredible. I don't know. I'm almost mad, but also I'd rather get an A, but still.
After a few moments, actually, hold on.
So that's exactly like my real life best friend in college right now. She's got this buddy Jacob who's just killing it. She's studying so fucking hard. Anyway.
Meanwhile, I didn't study and I didn't kill it. So
You get to live out your fantasy.
everyone
Yeah.
See,
don't
a
skip
different
class.
person.
Yeah.
The beauty of
And
the
that's
Go
why
to
we play
class
D&D.
and do
It's
the
important
Live
to
pretend.
take school seriously. Stay in school, kids.
Hey, we're a
Do it.
D&D campaign.
Do drugs.
Go
Don't
back
go
to
to
school
school.
and do
Wait.
degree.
Yeah.
How about that now?
Yeah.
26 agonizing minutes go by
Ugh.
before the door cracks open and Professor Veyron steps out and kind of.
I'm like, can't someone just put me to sleep? Oh.
She kind of waves you up, and you all kind of. But as you all kind of follow, she kind of holds up a hand and kind of just for her, unfortunately.
I'll let you guys know right after they're done.
She waves you up. Weirdly, going up to receive the grade, those the glass steps and the doors look even more intimidating, even after the fact, after the presentation is done, just to go in and get the results. It's even scarier and more intimidating. But you kind of climb those steps. You watch her pass in the door, closes behind her, and we'll find out what happened.
What if something crazy happens? What if they question me? What
I guess
if
you
they
gotta
question
Attack
me?
of the
Oh my god,
Satire
it becomes
attack!
it becomes like an
Professors.
interrogation.
Yeah.
This is when we split the party. We rescue
Oh,
Harmony from
save
detention.
I trusted you
Who
guys.
knows?
We're gonna blow up another spire. We will.
Thanks so much for joining us, you guys. Tune in next time to find out what Harmony's grade is. We know it's pretty good. But until then, always study hard and return all the library books.
Yeah.
Yes.
Finally.
Very
All of
important.
them. Even if you have to send them from
And-
continents away.
Support your local library as well.
Yes. PSA.
Books. Check them out.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.